Inside Out Talk aims to bring people together by discussing LGBT plus issues, people, community, influencers, history and politics. My name is Richie Lichfield, and in this special podcast we're going to be looking at a parent's point of view and how their LGBT plus child came out to them, how they reacted and supported them, as well as the struggles they and their child have faced as being part of the LGBT plus community. We can say that in our time, people are more open towards LGBT plus people and family members are more accepting than they were in the past. But there's still many parents that don't understand this subject and might have a negative reaction if their children were to come out to them as being part of the LGBT plus community. We aim to discuss some of these issues in our fortnightly podcast. We want to know your thoughts. You can get in touch with us via our website, which is the INSIDEOUTcampaign.org. You can email us at the insideoutcampaign@gmail.com or tweet us, #InsideOut. Today on the phone, I'm joined with Alison Lowe, a parent who not only has one child who identifies as being part of the LGBT plus community, but two. Without further ado, let's find out a little bit more about her.
So my name's Alison Lowe. I live up here in Leeds, and both my children, Adam and Rosie, identify as part of the LGBTQ community. They both came out when they were teenagers. So I'm chief exec of a mental health charity called Touchstone, and until 2 weeks ago I was also a Labour councillor in Leeds for 29 years.
You say you've got two children who identify as part of the LGBT plus community.
So Adam is identifies, well, actually he identifies as gender fluid, but he's gay, and Rosie identifies as female, and she is a lesbian.
And when did they come out to you?
So Adam came out when he was 14, but I always knew he was gay. Rosie came out when she was at university, so her early 20s.
How did they come out to you?
Well, with Adam, it was quite funny really, because his cousin, he's got a cousin who's a girl, was out with lots of her young 13-year-old friends, and they thought Adam was beautiful. They all met up at Rounded Park, and his cousin rang me up to say, "Oh, my friends love Adam, they want to meet him again, they really fancy him." So Adam was completely unaffected by all this girlish adoration. So when I put the phone down, I said, "Oh," I remember he was eating a sandwich on the sofa, and I said, "Oh, do you like girls, Adam?" He just shook his head. I said, "Oh, so do you like boys?" And he nodded. And I said, "How do you know?" He said, "I just know." And then I said to him, "You know that I love you, don't you?" And he said, "Yes." And then he said, "Will you take this plate in?" Because he finished his sandwich. And that was it.
Ah, so you remember it quite vividly.
I remember it totally vividly, because it's when everything changed, really, because thinking someone's gay and then finding out that they are is not the same thing. And it meant for me that I had to face up to the fact that my child was different and potentially would face violence, discrimination. So it wasn't that he was gay that I was frightened of, it was about everybody else's reactions. And I remember I went upstairs and burst into tears in my bedroom because I was so worried for my child, and the world was a terrible place, and my child was not going to have all the opportunities of the love that he should have had. I mean, that hasn't really come to fruition, but it was my immediate response to him telling me.
And what about your daughter?
So when Rosie came out in her early 20s, bearing in mind Adam had been out for about 8 years at this point, it was almost all right, okay, because I was so steeped in the LGBT community at that point, and so was Rosie. So it was almost like an inevitable step. And even though she told me when she was younger, "Oh, I like boys, Mum, I like boys," and she'd had a few boyfriends, the fact that she turned up with a woman when she was 21 wasn't a shock or a surprise to me.
And you said
so that was it.
Okay, well, you mentioned that you always knew? Did you always know about both of them, or did you just...
No, because Rosie had told me herself that she liked boys, it never occurred to me that she also liked girls. But then when she came home at the end of her degree and she was with a woman, it was like, oh, right, so I was a bit more surprised. And I think Rosie would tell you that I struggled a little bit more with her because she had told me one thing and then the world became different to what she'd said. I think she thinks I struggled with it, but I didn't struggle with her being gay. I struggled with her partner, who I didn't like. That's what it was. I didn't like her partner. And Rosie took that to mean that I didn't like her being gay.
Right, what about your son?
Oh, Adam has always known that I love and adore him. He's always brought home lovely men. In fact, quite a lot of the men that Adam brings home I like more than him. So it's never been an issue. Adam's always been really secure in my love. His dad, I think, Adam's dad and I don't live together. We've been separated, but been divorced for 25 years. I think his dad felt uncomfortable about it, but there was never really a conversation with his dad about it. But I think Adam felt that his dad was not as inclusive and as embracing of his sexual orientation. But he always knew that I loved him, and him being gay was just another part of his beauty, as far as I was concerned.
And how's his dad now? Is he more accepting?
Yeah, he's more accepting. I mean, Adam is Adam. He's so gregarious and loud and out there and passionate, and it's impossible not to absolutely adore him because he's absolutely adorable. And I think his dad is completely accepting. Whether he is accepting of people who are gay, that's a question I can't answer. But he's very much accepting of his son.
So before your children came out to you, did you have any experience with people that identify as LGBT plus?
Yeah, I've worked with people who are gay, had other family members who were gay. So for me, it wasn't really an issue, and I'm black, so I've experienced discrimination all my life. I come from a very working class background. I've experienced discrimination on the grounds of class. So for me, it wasn't a problem. It was something that difference is something that I've been brought up with. I hadn't been brought up with lots of people who identified as LGBTQ. As far as I knew it, he told me there wasn't a moment when I thought, oh no, my son is gay. I just thought, oh no, my son is gay. Other people will treat him differently. That's what it was. It was a fear for my child. I wasn't worried about his sexual orientation. And if you ask me now, would I choose Adam gay or Adam straight? I mean, it's a ridiculous question. But I love my child exactly as he is.
Do they take you out anywhere? Do you get involved with the scene?
Yeah. When Adam lived in Leeds, I was constantly out and about in the gay scene. Rosie is less interested in the scene. But yes, I used to spend a lot of time down at Queen's Court and the Bridge pub and places like that. But now, Adam lives in Manchester. I'm around a lot of LGBTQ people because I'm a campaigner for inclusion and diversity. So I am around lots of people through choice in that I'm campaigning all the time for inclusion. I work for an organisation called Touchstone. Employers, 8% of our staff identify as LGBT and 5% identify as T. So it's a massive part of my life now.
When your children came out, did you find that you had support from people in the LGBT plus community?
So I had two really good lesbian friends who were lovely and supportive, and I remember they said that we're both Jewish. I remember they told me, Mazel Tov, when I told them I had two gay kids, they were really happy. But I didn't really seek support from them because as lesbian women, they weren't me. So as a black, cis, straight woman, my experiences were of having 2 gay children. I didn't think it was right to talk to them or seek support from them. Yes, information, definitely. Asking about, well, what about this and what about that? And do you think I should do this and do you think I should do that? But I didn't really have another straight, cis woman of colour to talk to about that. So I had to sort of work my way through. One of the things that I did, actually, Adam and Rosie will tell you this, when Adam came out, I went and bought a load of KY jelly. I don't know why I did that, but I did. Adam couldn't stop laughing. And when I went and bought it, I was with this really, really old lady that I used to look after called Vivian, and she was in her 80s. And I didn't tell her why I was buying it. But a few weeks later, she turned up at my house with more boxes. Because she said, oh, you wanted this, Alison? So I've bought you some more. Which Adam thought was hilarious. But he just thought I was completely bonkers. And he thought it was really, really funny. And also, I got lots and lots of condoms from Mesmac. And I gave them to him, and he thought that was funny. And he said, but Mum, I will never use them because you counted them. I will never use them because I don't want you tracking my sex life. Even though I told him I hadn't counted them, and I didn't know how many there were, and he wouldn't use them. He said, I'm going to do that myself, Mum. But I think he thought that I was really sweet.
Aww.
But also, I was a bit misguided.
What were your thoughts about LGBT plus people before your children came out? Were they positive or negative, or were you just...
Oh, very positive, very positive. I mean, I can't say I had thoughts, because I am a person and I meet a person, and that person I take on face value, that either a nice person or a not nice person, and whether they're black, white, yellow, green, gay or straight is irrelevant to whether I like them or engage with them. I connect with people, and nice people I connect with, and not nice people I don't connect with. So it wasn't really part of my consciousness that I thought about people in relation to their sexual orientation.
When your children did come out, did you seek any advice off anybody, and if so, who did you seek advice from? So I had a colleague at work called Sarah, and her brother was gay, so I asked her, well, it was really about my fear. I really wanted somebody who had a family member who was older than my children to give me reassurance that the children were going to be safe. Mm-hmm. So obviously Adam came out as a child and Rosie as an adult. So with Adam, it was all about, I'm really fighting for my kids, because you saw things on the TV, you heard things about gay bashing, as they called it, and I was just terrified for my child. So I spoke to Sarah about, well, how's your brother? Has he been beaten up? Is he okay? And she reassured me that, yeah, there were always going to be idiots in the world, and it was not, you can't say whether or not someone's going to be violent on the grounds of your difference. But that's the same as being a black person. You still get beaten up in this country for being black, just like you can get beaten up for being gay. But she gave me some context and some perspective, so that I wasn't terrified all the time, and then I just knew that I had to relax, because my child would feel my anxiety, and I didn't want him to think it was anything to do with the fact that it was gay, because it wasn't. It was about my fear that other people are bigots and might hurt my child. Do you think it's easier now for children to come out than it was, say, for instance, 20 years ago?
Well, I think that's a difficult question, because it depends where your parents are, and it depends which community you're in. It depends which country in the world you're in, because obviously there's still 72 countries where being LGBT is a criminal offence.
Let's say the UK for now.
So, again, it depends which culture you're in. So I think it's easier for more people to come out, but it's not easier for all people to come out. So, for example, if you're from a particular faith background, either Christian, Sikh, Islam, any of those backgrounds, potentially you could have people around you in your faith community who don't take that well. So I think that that's a massive issue. I think that you could have parents who are not open, parents who are closed to difference, and that could also be an issue. But generally speaking, I think that the world in the UK is more open. I think that there are more people, more representations of positive gay, lesbian, bi and trans people on TV. So I think it is easier for more people. But it'll never be easy for everyone because there is stigma attached to people having different sexual orientation. There is still hate out there, there's still violence out there, and there is also, especially a young person, innate fear that their parent might reject them. So a couple of years ago, I met a young man, a brilliant young man, worked for a very big firm of accountants, and I was doing a leadership talk, as I regularly do, and he came up to me and said, I wish I could tell my mum that I was gay, that I'm frightened that she'll reject me, so I can't tell her because I'm so frightened of the rejection. Anyway, I talked him into it. Anyway, I saw him about a year later, and he said he told her. And she'd surpassed his expectations, that she had not rejected him, and he was really happy he'd told her. But it had taken him a year to do it after we'd spoken. But his life had transformed because now he told her. And that guy was in his mid-20s. I felt so bad for him.
Well, there's people out there that still haven't come out, even in their 40s and 50s.
Of course. And I think that, I don't presume to know somebody else's story, somebody else's life, somebody else's background. But what I said to this young man is, as a mother, I would be devastated if my children felt that there was anything that was so important to their lives, their sexual orientation, that they couldn't tell me. I want my children to thrive, to be happy. And if you feel you can't tell your mum, or me as your mum, then I failed as a parent. Please believe that she is better than you think she is. She loves you, and that will always comfort. And thank God I was right. Thank God I was right. But I could have been so wrong, and then that young man would have had a terrible experience. So some people can never come out, and they know their families better than I know them.
What would you say to other parents that believe that children might be gay?
So love your children. Love them for who they are. If you've got a boy or somebody who's been assigned the gender boy at birth and they want to wear pink, let them wear pink. Tell them how beautiful they look in pink. If they want to play with a doll, let them play with a doll. If they want to kiss a boy and they're a boy, let them kiss a boy. It's about, we can't put on them the stereotypes that society has taught us are right, because they're not right. People can be themselves. We don't want our children to be harmed by our ignorance. So get yourself gendered, find out the facts, show your child love, and also be really clear about showing positive images of LGBTQ plus people. Take them to Pride. Make sure you've got books in the house that have got same-sex parents. If you see same-sex people on the TV, remark positively about that, so that when your child is ready to come out, they know that they're safe to come out.
Is there any sort of support network out there for parents?
Well, funny you should say that, because in Leeds there is a new family support group that's just been set up literally about 8 weeks ago, and I went to the launch. So I know it's not the only one in the country. I know that there was also one that was set up in, I think it's Portsmouth or Southampton, somewhere down south anyway. So I think there must be lots in different cities, but there are lots of people, either gay or straight, who've decided I need a peer group or I need a support group, and those groups do exist. Google them.
Right, we'll get Christian, our producer, to put some information underneath this interview at the end. That's absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much, Alison, for your time on this. That's absolutely brilliant.
You're welcome.
Okay, that's all we've got time for in this episode. Thanks once again to our guest, Alison Lowe. Don't forget, if you've got any questions, you can reach out to us in the following ways. Via our website, theinsideoutcampaign.org, email us at theinsideoutcampaign@gmail.com, or tweet us, #InsideOut. In our next episode, we're going to be talking to another parent that's going to share their story about their child and how they came together as a family and supported each other. Now join the team and me in 2 weeks' time via our platform, The Inside Out Campaign. Thanks for listening.